of November for 2020, and we're certainly glad you dropped by this morning. I'm Dan Gresham, host on KFDM TV for more years than we care to mention, and of course, morning show anchor for both KFDM and KBTV Fox 4. A lot of people don't realize that we do two channels now. Much different than it was when I started in this business, when that would have not even been imaginable. And now you have companies that own multiple channels in the same market, and we're one of those, and so is our competition. So it's you have many channels, actually, that we broadcast out of KFDM and KBTV. Yes, it's true that No Shave November continues. We are down day 9. Didn't know it was going to come out gray, but hey. And if you're not aware, we're doing this for what's called No Shave November, which is a real simple idea, and that is that you put down the razor for 30 days and raise awareness for men's cancer issues, whether it is colon cancer or if it's, I don't know, the kinds that men don't ever want to talk about, testicular cancer. I can name several, but as a whole, most of us as men are not very good about talking about cancer issues. Right, we're probably better today than we've ever been, but the point being that there's still things that we can do. And I mentioned I'm doing this in memory of my brother who died of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and just feel like it's important that we get out there and raise the awareness. And it's a pretty simple thing to do. It's you that has to put up with someone who looks like he probably needs to wash his face. But it's an easy thing to overcome today. Got a lot going on, a lot to talk about. Of course, I want to get you up to speed with everything that's happening across Southeast Texas. And we want to remind you, too, that as part of our live stream, we like to see you. We like to hear from you. We like to find out what's going on in your world. So if you want to say good morning, you want to tell me where you're watching from, you want to tell me what's on your mind. If you want to get political, you can, but I'm going to be right up front with you. I'm not going to play the political game while, I'm taking comments. I just don't. I don't see any real benefit to that. Somebody saying this and somebody counters with that, and then it just kind of goes from there, and it digresses into something that you really don't really get a whole lot of advantage out of or take a lot away from. But again, that's yours to do. It's your right. But anything you want to talk about, anything you want to point out, anything you want to bring up, fair game this morning. But let's start out by saying good morning to Marie at Chason. Says cool music. Thank you, Chason. Also this morning, Tammy Cromwell is here along with Barbara Snyder. See, Jeannie Foster from Viter is on with us this morning. And it's weird, Jeannie. I went out this morning and it wasn't raining, wasn't misting, wasn't doing anything. But it was so thick, the humidity was so thick you could feel it. And before the morning was out, it was raining. It was a light rain for the most part at my house, but it was raining. Janelle Brown says, good morning. Daryl's dropping by this morning. Good morning to you, Daryl. Hope all is well. Also, Dane's Dan says, good morning from Mexico City. Hola, Mexico City. And I like the profile there. Looks like maybe, I'm not going to guess brand. Could be an Indian, could be a Harley, could be anything in between. But thanks for watching this morning in Mexico City. Also, Danny Bledsoe, I missed Dan's birthday last week, but only because I do not celebrate mine. We share the same. Well, I don't necessarily celebrate mine, but I'm fortunate to have others who are kind enough to at least mention it. So, Danny, happy birthday to you. I always find it interesting. You always think that, I don't know why we think this way, that mine's the only birthday on this date until somebody comes up and goes, oh, my birthday and his birthday. Yeah, and I went to school with people that had the same birthday, and I think I mentioned it Friday. I have a friend here in town that has the same birthday. Also this morning, let's say good morning to Coffee Landry. Good morning to you. Hi, April. Hope you're well this morning. Laura says, I had a great visit to Southeast Texas this weekend. Saw a lot of gators. Do you mean the ones around the neck or the ones? I'm just kidding. I know that's what you mean. There are plenty around here. Hi, Jamie. Hope you're doing good this morning. Also, Jennifer Dixon is up with us this morning. Christy says it's another beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I'm hard pressed to argue that one. Raymond Rice wants to know what happened on 10. All I know, Raymond, and he's talking about 10 eastbound, really in one of the worst places it could be on eastbounds right there in Beaumont, the downtown exit in that general area, backed up for miles because TxDOT's doing what they're calling emergency pavement repair. And I guess there was no way avoiding it. Sooner or later, you got to make it. And the problem becomes, you either have to shut down the road or you have to do it while traffic is going. So this time, they chose to do it while traffic was still moving. It ain't moving no more. If you've tried to get on there, it's crazy. And I love it. And they don't have any other choice, but they always say, find an alternative route. Find me an alternative route from Beaumont to Lafayette besides I-10. You're going to have to do some traveling. And if you're saying, well, I'd take 12, yeah, but you can't get to 12 because you got to get on 10 to get to 12 over in Orange County. Oh, but I'd go north and then I'd cut. But the problem is we now have all of these traffic apps like Waze and Google Maps and everything else that's out there, Apple Maps. Now you can say, okay, route me around whatever. And if you got 5,000 people using Interstate 10, 3,000 are using the same traffic app you're using. So then every other road. I came home. Yes, I-10 was backed up, but so was 69 trying to get onto 10. So was 11th Street. So was Delaware, because all these people are trying to find workarounds to get around the situation. So yeah, to answer your question, it's a good morning. If you don't have to get on I-10 going east, don't do it. We'll let you know or on the KFDM website as soon as it's clear. Jeannie Foster, good morning to you. Sabrina, glad to have you up. Hope you had a nice weekend. Christy Isaac, handsome grays there, Dan. Keep up the good job raising awareness. We're certainly going to try. Jeannie Foster also answering the question for you. Lena says good morning, and good morning to you as well. Hi, Chrissy. Good morning to you. Also, this morning, Patricia Jones is checking in, as is Curtis Phelps. I like that profile picture, Curtis. Tom, good morning to you. Tom's watching from Frankfort, Illinois, but he told me on Friday he's also doing No Shave November. So I'm not very good with it. I want my razor, but I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. Terry Henderson, good morning to you. Patricia says she's listening in Huntsville. Love listening to you from my town, my Texas hometown. Well, we love having you listen and watch as well this morning. Also, Lady D. I had to read that twice. Beaumont, always good morning. Dan, and good morning to you as well. Tina, good morning to you. And Suzanne Hall, also checking in this morning with us. All right, so again, you're welcome to post up if you want to. It's like any other Facebook post. You're also welcome to tell us anything else that's on your mind, right? All right, but let's do what we're here to do, the intended thing, and that is to show you what's happening in the headlines this morning. We always like to start with KFDM.com. It's your first stop on the internet where you can go and see local reaction to what happened to the projected winner, if you want to. And to me, the thing is, when you look at the number of people who voted in this election, the one thing that I think everyone can agree with is that people turned out. People felt like they had an obligation, if not just the right, to express, their need, their desire, their will in this election. The numbers are historic for both candidates. So, that should say a lot to us about the fact that people are invested, that people are interested. I think it's a whole lot more obvious that some people are more invested than others. And we'll see. But again, that's one thing I think everyone can agree on, that a lot of people took advantage of the opportunity to do this. And you have to remember, no matter who is the projected winner or who becomes the winner, the reality is you're still going to have a lot of people who aren't happy. Because when you have that many millions of people voting for both candidates, again, some large number of people are going to walk away dissatisfied with the process. You can go in and see what happened yesterday. U.S. Representative Brian Babin with a host of other people yesterday in Lumberton, demanding recounts. You can also go and see the stories, some of the stories we have about people who were talking about how they felt about the projected winner and the projected vice president elect. So that's all there on KFDM.com. Rather than talk about, because I feel like we've had a long campaign, and there's a lot more to go, and there's no doubt about that. And you can get that. This is my argument all the time. You can get all that from a million different places. What am I talking about? 1,000, a million different places. Google, 2020 election. See how many million hits you get on that. But we can do other things. We can talk about other things here that you're not going to get anyplace else, I don't think. Leo Stringer, hope you're enjoying your new homestead there in deep central Texas. Also, Carol Lingo says, good morning from Elkhart. Good morning, Carol. All right, so let's go back over. Here's a story that I think is really important. And that is, from the very beginning, we've talked about on the at-home update, the fact that the COVID pandemic is not going away. It's not going anywhere. So how do we learn to live with it? I don't think the American people, unless it gets to the point when it becomes so dangerous that people understand that it's a threat to their well-being to leave their homes. I don't think anything short of that is going to, make people stay at home. The lockdown idea, look at Europe. They're trying it in all these countries. And we understand why. I understand why. I hope you do too. If you read, you educate yourself, you understand why they feel like that's important. But the reality seems to be, at this point, it's not working very well. These lockdowns don't seem to be working in some of these countries. But what may work is an effective vaccine. And also, I think people are also on the same page that testing is also a feasible answer to this problem. And I'm not talking about one of these tests that you go and take and it takes 3 weeks to get a result. I'm talking about a test that you can take at your home and you can know within minutes, am I positive or not? But do I go out today or do I stay home today? As an employer, you could give it to every employee walking in the door. Do you come in the building or do you not come into the building today? There's no reason you can't have them. The experts say it's possible. It can be easily done. You can make these tests for less than $1 a test. But there has to be the demand and there has to be the interest. But anyway, the point being that you have to have an effective vaccine as well. And apparently Pfizer is telling people today, and you can go and find this story in a variety of different places. I saw it in the Houston Chronicle. I saw it, I saw it on New York Times. I've seen it in a lot of different places. But this is USA Today's story. And you can see right there, Dow Futures surged. Do you see that number? 1,700 points. As Pfizer says the vaccine is effective. Do you think finding an effective vaccine might affect the marketplace? Well, of course it would, because then it would give people that sense that they could go back out and business would say, hey, maybe there is an answer. Maybe we can really, bounce back from this. But there you go. Pfizer says its experimental vaccine was more than 90% effective in preventing COVID-19. Potentially a huge boost to world health after a pandemic battered the global economy in the spring and led to more than 1 million deaths. So as you can see, people on the market are very excited about the idea. And of course, Pfizer is doing this in partnership with I think they call it BioNTech. And the studies are coming out today. So you'll be able to read more about this. But I just wanted you to see it. Again, 90% effective. Also this morning, while we're talking about COVID, always encourage you, if you really want to know what's going on, the statistic that most people seem to suggest is a real benchmark for how we're doing is not necessarily the number of people who have tested positive, but the number of people who are hospitalized at any one time in your area or in any other area. Now, we know in El Paso, it is definitely out of control in El Paso. This is what they call the dashboard, the Texas Health and Human Services dashboard. You can get this, just Google Texas COVID dashboard. This will pop up. It gives you a lot of different slices that you can look at, everything from positivity rates. There's a good one on positivity rates where, right now we're at 9.03. Lab test reported is 11.76. You see, there's not one rate. There are multiple rates there. That's why so many people say, if you really want to know, the indicator is where are we on hospitalizations? This is the peak back in July. You had more than 10,000 people hospitalized. Here we are today or yesterday, and you're looking at 6,000. But again, here we were, less than 2 months ago at 3,000. So we've doubled that number. And you can even go in and look at the regional hospitalizations and see where they are. We are R, if you're looking, Southeast Texas is R. So I can go over here and I can look real quickly and find out that we have, at this point, we have 13 ICU beds available. We have 284 hospital beds available. We have 241 ventilators available. So you can see all the information. All right. You can see what's, current COVID-19 patients in the hospital, 124. When COVID gets real when it happens to somebody you know. Until then, it's just kind of this number that people keep talking about. But when, the whole idea, when COVID comes home, when it comes home and it's somebody that, oh, wow, and that's when it kind of changes, I think. All right, so those are a couple of things I wanted to bring to your attention. Also, kind of a cool story to end with today. I always like to end on something other than heavy stuff. And this is a cool story from Texas Monthly. Now is the time to plant wildflowers in Texas. See, we say wildflowers in Texas. So you can go and do that now. They give you all the different information that you need, what flowers, how you need to plant them, which ones grow best in a sunny situation, which ones grow best in shade. Talks about prepping the area. Anyway, go check it out. Again, that's a Texas Monthly. Rose Callahan has the byline on that one. Just says wildflowers in Texas. Here's how to do it right. All right. So go check that story out. That pretty much does it for me this morning. I know you have things to do. I'm headed out of here as well. Want to remind you, keep up to date with things that are going on this morning. Do it a variety of ways. Follow us on Facebook. You're there already at KFDM News, but you can also check out Twitter, Morning TV Dan. You can also go to our YouTube channel. You can subscribe there. You'll get an alert. We post these every day. It's Dan's at Home. Dan's at Home on YouTube. And of course, don't forget the daily broadcast. We have News at Noon coming up at, noon. That's our big joke. We always say, when is News at Noon again? That's always an easy one to remember. It's kind of like Live at 5. But that's coming up today. You can get updated on all the things that are going on. We'll try to continue to keep you up to date as well. And don't forget, we'll meet back here tomorrow morning, all right? Tomorrow morning. Be a little bit later because I won't get out of the studio until later, but we will. We'll meet back up here and we'll discuss what's going on. Again, if you don't mind, hit me with a like. I'd appreciate it. And go out and make it a terrific day. Reach out to somebody. See if you can make them feel a little bit more comfortable. Remember that act of kindness. Random, though. Just a random act. Don't look for anything in return. You do it because you can. All right? Go out and make it a terrific day. We'll look forward to talking again soon.